tonight on CTV3 News. Land clinic in Corozal resolves long-standing land issues for residents. High Court rules in favor of Barrow and allies reinstating control over UDP headquarters amid leadership dispute. Tracy Tager-Panton addresses legal hearing. She reaffirms her leadership. And extension officers enhance skills in sustainable agriculture at IICA workshop. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Friday, November 8, 2024.
This is my first visit to Belize as a foreign minister, but my fourth overall. I first came here 20 years ago. Taiwan and Belize have many things in common, and we both cherish peace and uphold the values of freedom, democracy, the rule of law, and respect for human rights. And based on these solid foundation of common ideals and mutual interests, our friendship has continued to flourish for 35 years. The government of Taiwan, in response to Prime Minister Belize-Taiwan's request during his visit to Taiwan in May, has agreed to provide financial support for the reconstruction of Beacon Bridge in Belize City. We understand that this is a pressing issue concerning the city's transportation safety.
Taiwan has proven over those 35 years to be a very valuable partner and very consistent partner and ally and friend of Belize's development. So we're very happy to welcome Minister Lin and his delegation to Belize.
Relationship between countries starts with personal friendships, and once you build that personal friendship, then you start to build on top of that.
Good evening. With your news also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7, I am Joanna Rodriguez. Over the past 3 days, the Ministry of Natural Resources set up a temporary office at the Corozal IT Vet Conference Room, effectively bringing the resources of Belmopan directly to the residents of Corozal. This initiative is aimed to assist hundreds of Belizeans in resolving their existing land issues, some of which have lingered in backlog for years, dating back as far as the year 2000. With a dedicated team working tirelessly from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. each day, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Natural Resources, Honorable Cordell Hyde, expressed satisfaction with the successful outcome of the clinic.
We spent the last 3 days working on a bunch of applications that were in the system for the people of Corozal Town. We've been here, this is the second time we're coming here over the last few years. We've been all over the country, to all the different constituencies, trying to address people's concerns. There's a lot of instruments in the backlog. And so when we come here, we are able to concentrate all our efforts in a particular area and make sure that we get done as many of those instruments as possible, whether it's purchase prices, permission to surveys, lease approvals, titles. The truth of the matter is that our system is overwhelmed. We checked earlier today, we are well over 23,000 applications in the system for 2024 alone. And that's all manner of applications, right? Can you imagine all the other years before, right? It's going to require a tremendous amount of human power to get all those things done. So when we come to a land clinic, to do a land clinic, and we spend 3 days and we work late at night. And we wake early in the morning to try to continue working, to try to ensure that we complete all the instruments that we have in the system here. And so we've been working on well over 400 instruments the last 3 days. So we've considered the clinic to be a pretty good success.
Underscoring that such matters could often be costly and time-consuming, Hyde explained that bringing the ministry's services to Corozal was necessary, recognizing that some land issues require substantial time to complete.
Well, we don't know when elections will be. It will be in 2025. But we've been here to Corozal district itself many times, and we will continue to work as hard as we can to support the constituencies all over the country, to support the people all over the country, because that's the bottom line. And so I think that we will be pushing up to the end of the year, and when the year begins, we will push again. We've not stopped pushing for the last 4 years. This is not an election gimmick. This is about making sure that we produce the best quality service and make sure that people get as many people as possible get their instruments completed so that they have this prized possession in their hand. And that's our commitment to people.
Despite speculation that the initiative may be politically motivated due to the upcoming general elections, Hyde assured residents that the Ministry of Natural Resources is dedicated to servicing land issues year-round.
What we really do is take Belmopan to the people so that people don't have to go to Belmopan as much because it's costly and it's frustrating. You reach Belmopan and your process is not where you think it should be, and so it still has to go through some more processes that will take some time, so it won't get done in that particular day. When we come here, we are bringing the entirety of our offices here to focus on all the things that are here. I don't know that there's a lot we can tell people to prevent the backlog, because the truth is that, and my staff tell me all the time, the frenetic pace that we're on is usually reserved for when there's election. But we've been on this pace for the last 4 years, literally. We've not stopped. We've just been going and going and going. And I think that won't stop, because I think more than ever before, people are uniquely aware of the importance of getting a piece of land. Because even if you get a piece of land where there is no road, what you have is a bankable document. You can take that to the bank. You can get a loan to pay your kids' school fees. You can get a loan to start a small business. You can get a loan to build a house. Government is actually transferring wealth to people, right? We sell these lots for $500. These lots, in a lot of cases, value $20,000, sometimes more, sometimes a little less. It's a transfer of wealth. And we believe that people who have land will not be poor. And so we believe that what we're doing is really reducing poverty in this country, really ensuring that the people who don't have get, and ensuring that people are able to move out of poverty and able to better provide for their children.
Also present at the land clinic was Thea Garcia Ramirez, the People's United Party PUP standard bearer for Corozal Bay. Ramirez played an instrumental role in gathering information from over 300 residents regarding their land issues.
We appreciate and are very, very grateful for the Minister of Lands, his entire team, his CEO, the Commissioner that has been here for the last 3 days, all his staff, all the logistics that they put into it, because we couldn't have done this without them. So this is a big win for Corozal Bay. We have been able to process almost 380 different lands have been moved forward, in excess of 400 different transactions. And so it has been wildly successful and even more than we had thought that we could accomplish. So I want to thank all of the ministry, and I want to thank the team that gave it their all here for the last 3 days. I mean, these people are incredible. They come in at 8, they have their 3 meals at their desk, and they don't stop working until 10 o'clock. And that, to me, is dedication, and that is very significant. A lot of times public officers get a bad rap, but the work ethic that the lands department has shown and these guys push, and I am very grateful to them. I'm in their debt. The entire Corozal Bay is in their debt. They have given us indeed a Christmas present a little bit before Christmas, because there will be very many people getting their lands titles. Purchase prices, lease approvals were done, unlocking of different lands. So we're very, very happy.
In a significant ruling this morning, the High Court upheld the claims of Moses Shine Barrow, Michael Perifeet, Shari Medina, Alberto August, and Ugo Pat, granting them control over the United Democratic Party UDP headquarters. The court's decision comes in the wake of a contentious leadership struggle that has gripped the party and its supporters. The legal dispute arose when Barrow and other members of the UDP's Central Executive Committee filed a lawsuit against interim party leader Tracy Tager-Panton and former Secretary General Philippa Griffith Bailey. The lawsuit sought to restore the authority of Perifeet and his team, challenging the legitimacy of Tager-Panton's leadership. Barrow and his colleagues accused Tager-Panton of unlawfully seizing control of party media outlets and questioned her right to lead the UDP, citing governance concerns and disputes over party unity and direction. The presentation of their case was supported by attorney Emmanuel Williams, who revealed to media outlets that the court granted the injunction orders with immediate effect.
Our clients, the applicants, filed an injunction in the court last week to remove the respondents from the premises at the UDP headquarters and for themselves to re-enter the premises. So the court heard that application this morning. The court considered the evidence before it and the submissions on both sides. But the practical effect is that the court order takes effect immediately. Therefore, the applicants, Mr. Barrow and his colleagues, can attend to the UDP headquarters and repossess the property as of 10 a.m. today. At this stage, we simply narrowed our focus to repossession of the property. The main claim considers other issues of trespass, and the media is aware of the extent of the main claim. Therefore, today simply addressed the issue of possession. Potentially, the relief extends until the determination of the main claim, which, based on the issues there and how it's resolved before the court, may affect this application today and the orders granted. The court satisfied itself based on rule of law. As you know, Jules, we don't live in medieval times, so in order to repossess property, you'd have to go through the proper channels to repossess the property, which was not done in this case. As such, the court emphasized the fact that it is important for parties, if they wish to undertake any repossession or dispossession of property, to pursue a court order.
In their amended fixed date claim form, the applicants are seeking several forms of relief from the court, including a permanent injunction to prevent Panton from claiming to be the UDP leader and from unlawfully occupying the property in the future. The primary claim is set for a case management hearing scheduled for January 14, 2025.
On the property, the land issue, while it is that in the main claim the court may also have to address its mind to the interpretation of the UDP's constitution, which is contractual in nature, the main or the fulcrum of this case had to deal with the property rights. However, the court today did express that it did not express a view or a ruling as to the ownership or any rights vested in the property. It was simply possession. Today only dealt with the possession of the property.
In relation to that review of the UDP's constitution, will it be that when you continue in court with this matter, there is going to be a pronouncement on whether that Unity Convention on October 20 was valid or not? Will it get there?
that is one of the substantive issues, since everything that flows from that convention or unity convention will determine the other issues.
What about what happened before then in terms of the expulsion by the UDP of some of its members?
At this juncture, we're not prepared to discuss the political or factual matrix of the matter, which is currently before the court. But what we can say is that those issues will be addressed at the proper forum.
That's to say, even who can declare themselves as the leader of the United Democratic Party.
Precisely, and because it's before the court, I would urge to say it's an opportune time to not, in fact, declare anyone as a party leader, since it's before the court and has to be addressed. And I appreciate that the media do also wants to protect itself in a position like that.
In a statement following the ruling, Barrow expressed gratitude for the court's decision, emphasizing its importance for restoring order within the party. This ruling reaffirms our commitment to democratic principles and ensuring that UDP remains a united front as we work towards bettering the country, Barrow said. This morning, Tracy Tager Panton appeared before the hearing without legal representation due to time constraints. Sheena Pitts, who had applied to appear as amicus curiae, friend of the court, was found by the court to be advising the respondents and thus dismissed from that role. Pitts, who also serves as the interim chair of the United Democratic Party, UDP, provided insights into the case that unfolded this morning. Pitts explained that the interim relief provided by the court is temporary and does not undermine the legitimacy of the UDP convention held on October 28, 2024.
This is an interim injunction. An interim means temporary. And because it is temporary, we can avail ourselves all remedies and procedures to address the temporary nature of this interim injunction. But what is important, what we need to appreciate is that the other side filed an application with an affidavit, and they also filed legal submissions, which was received by Honorable Panton yesterday about 4:52 p.m. And so on her part, she was not in a position to respond to legal submissions as a layperson, and rightly so. But she was able to comfortably handle herself in indicating what her position is. What is important, a key takeaway, is that the court properly appreciates that both parties have two different positions in relation to what the issues are. And for their part, they have claimed for possession of the headquarters, simplicity, we would say. But our position, and we really know, and the nation knows, that the real issue is the October 20th National Convention. We have available to us, as the court has indicated, all ability to apply to discharge that order and all ability to go to the court for declarations if that is where we want to go. And so that is where we are.
That Tager Panton remains the duly elected interim leader of the UDP. She cautioned against any premature conclusions regarding leadership changes, as the court had not yet made substantive rulings regarding the case during this morning's hearing.
That the court, in making the order, specifically said that it anticipates that both parties cooperate and conduct itself in such a way that both parties assist the court in identifying what the real issue is. And that is great. That is exactly what we want and what we're saying, because you will appreciate, as having been on the ground, having been at the convention, having been aware of all that has been happening, you will appreciate that the real issue is the validity of the convention. You will appreciate that this is a matter where the other side just simply refused to accept defeat and is fighting to the very end to challenge his defeat, which he is open to do. And he has chosen to do so at court as opposed to accepting what the constitution of the UDP obtains and abiding by the contract as between the institution of the UDP and its members. And that is fine. But what we're grateful for is that we're right to marshal those arguments for that. And so, yes, this will be the time going forward before the court where those matters will be live. In addition to that, what will be live leading up to the validity of that convention is clear look and scrutiny into the acts of Honorable Shine Barrow that made him make those declarations as to who is a member or who is no longer a member, or who has constructively resigned and that sort of thing. So properly in its context, my dear, this stage of the proceedings is not the place where those things would have been determined. Those things are substantive issues, and that is yet to come, and we're happy that that is coming and it will be ventilated.
As for Tracy Panton, the interim leader of the United Democratic Party, UDP, she delivered a clearing call to party delegates following a court ruling. Panton stressed that the current situation is temporary and reaffirmed the legitimacy of the party's convention held on October 28th. Panton reassured delegates that the recent legal developments will not impact the party's foundational decisions made during the last convention. This injunction does not determine the leadership of our party, she stated firmly, urging members to be cautious of interpretations that may misinterpret the court's ruling. Panton also announced that she will begin a national tour on Saturday, November 9, 2024, starting in the Cayo Central constituency at the residence of Ana Molina, Zayden Street, Santa Elena Town at 7 p.m. Coming up next, Belize's melting pot celebrated as Louisiana Government School hosts Cultural Day. Stay tuned.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Okay, Dad.
What's with all the police everywhere? I'm not supposed to tell. You know the butcher? The freaking nut job that goes around chopping people up? The feds heard that he's gonna be here today. So they set up a trap for him. This whole concert, it's a trap. They're watching all the exits, they're checking everyone that leaves. There's no way to get out of here. I've never felt this before. I feel out of control.
Shoot left. Where should I put her?
Thank you.
This individual that we're searching for won't panic. He's realized he can't get out. He's going to try to cause chaos.
Dad, what are you doing? You're acting weird.
This dude is next level insane.
What's happening?
I think you're looking for me.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry. Sorry.
How you all doing? You having fun? Woo! Come closer. What's going on, Daddy?
Open the goddamn door!
I can't get away. I can't stop. I'll just do this one last one.
Enjoy the rest of the concert.
Extensive Extension officers from the Orange Walk and Corozal district today engaged in a refresher workshop on good agricultural practices for sustainable agriculture. The two-day workshop focused on theory and practical sessions, including field preparation, planting, irrigation, and climate-smart practices. The two-day workshop saw participating officers engage in preparing plant beds and irrigation. The workshop is sponsored and organized by the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture.
Sí, esto viene de una iniciativa del señor ministro May, ministro de Agricultura de Belice, en solicitarnos a nosotros una capacitación intensiva para todo lo que es la dirección de extensionismo del Ministerio de Agricultura, para poder entrenar o refrescar a todos los técnicos de todos los territorios de Belice y que ellos con este entrenamiento o este refrescamiento puedan dar una mejor asistencia de calidad a todos los productores en las diferentes zonas de Belice.
Ensuring that extension officers are able to impart accessible practices with the farming community which they serve, according to country representative for IICA, Mauricio Guevara, is among the chief goals of the project.
Lo que se les está enseñando a los técnicos es bajar el nivel académico a un nivel del productor para que el productor con herramientas locales y con palabras entendibles pueda entender lo que significa paso a paso la agricultura para obtener rendimientos y para obtener calidad.
This training session, according to Melissa Balan, an extension officer attached to the Corozal district, will ensure that she is able to share the most relevant climate resilient and economic practices with farmers in Corozal.
It's a broad course, which basically is trying to teach us extension officers to work along with the farmers using low resources, since farmers, well, small farmers, because they are focusing more on the small farmers.
Similar sessions will also be hosted with extension officers in other districts across the country. As mentioned at the top of the newscast, in a dramatic escalation of internal conflict within the United Democratic Party, UDP, the High Court served a significant court order today that could have lasting implications for the opposition party as it approaches impending general elections. The order mandates the immediate vacating of the UDP headquarters located on Youth for the Future Drive, adding another layer to the ongoing turmoil that has divided the party into two factions. The recent discord within the UDP has primarily emerged between two prominent figures, Tracy Panton, who was declared interim leader following a contentious convention held on October 20, 2024, and opposition leader Shine Barrow, who is determined to reclaim his former position within the party. Panton and her supporters made headlines when they occupied the UDP headquarters shortly after the convention, effectively sidelining the party's traditional media outlets, including the Guardian newspaper and Wave Radio. Today's court ruling follows Barrow's attempt to regain access to his old office in the UDP headquarters. The High Court heard his request for an injunction, resulting in a decision that requires all parties to vacate the premises until further case management is scheduled for January 2025. This ruling prolongs the turmoil within the UDP as the party grapples with internal conflict against the backdrop of an upcoming general election. In light of the ongoing crisis, Deputy Prime Minister Honorable Cordell Hyde was approached for his insights on the matter.
Honestly, I don't pay that much attention to it because the work of government has to continue. A lot of that is crazy stuff, is unpredictable stuff. They were as unpredictable as the weather. And what we know, what is predictable for us is the amount of work we have, the amount of demands and needs our people have, and the responsibility that we carry. We're the government. People elected us to do a job, and people had high expectations and still have high expectations for us. And that requires a lot of us. And it requires us staying focused and working hard and not being distracted by all the other things that we don't have control over. Like, we don't know what the opposition will look like when the Prime Minister finally calls the election. But it really doesn't matter. We're going to have an opposition one way or the other. How that looks is up to them. Right now, we're just focused on getting the work done for the people.
With a great mix of Maya, Mestizo, Creole, Garifuna, Mennonite, East Indian, and Chinese, Belize is a splendid mix of different cultures, and today, Infantu students, teachers, and parents of Louisiana Government School celebrated the jewel's melting pot of cultures by hosting a very special Culture Day. In order to commemorate this special day, a host of activities were planned, including a variety of cultural dances and presentations for all to enjoy.
As we all know, across the country, November is a month for culture. So in the curriculum that is being used in all the schools, for the first cycle, which is the first couple of weeks, there is a section that has to do with cultural education. Actually, there are 7 different competencies that the curriculum tries to cover, one of them being multicultural appreciation.
Today's Cultural Day, according to Infant Division Administrator Enrique Ayuso, was geared at helping some of their youngest students to develop a multicultural awareness by learning to appreciate their own culture and heritage, as well as to understand and accept others.
Okay, well, what we want our children to get is that our country has a rich culture and that we need to appreciate all our different cultures and to take away the stigma of intercultural teasing and that sort of thing, to show that each culture is important with regards to our heritage, with regards to food, and we live together every day, so we need to learn to live together and appreciate each other's beliefs, customs, food, and that's what we are trying to achieve here.
Today's Culture Day concluded Admit Day. Today, 19 youths from across the country were awarded $150,000 Belize through PAC's grant program under the Ministry of Sustainable Development. This program supports the education of students at the tertiary level of various schools nationwide, awarding those pursuing associate's programs with a grant of $5,000 Belize and those pursuing bachelor's programs with a grant of $10,000 Belize. Applicants were chosen based on previous academic accomplishments, program of study, and financial need. The selected students major in a variety of courses, including natural resource management, environmental science, business marketing, nursing, and other fields focused on preserving and enhancing the nation's rich ecosystem and growing economy. These students, according to Minister of Sustainable Development, will play a major role in pushing climate resilience and conservation in our country.
I think some got for University of Belize, Galen, Corozal Community College, Independence, but very important that the students came and had the support of their parents, which shows that there's commitment from the parents also, and many of them are also accompanied by at least one staff member from the school, the academic institutions, which they will be pursuing their studies.
And how do these scholarships play a role in climate resilience?
Well, what PAC has been doing was that before they had done it before, it had stopped for a while. Last year we reconstituted the program and said that it is a way where PAC can also have some investment. It's not only on the protected areas management, the conservation of our biodiversity, whether it's plants, animals, water, but also to have an investment on the people. And in this case, with students who will be some of our future leaders and also some of the people who will be leading these conservation organizations working towards the reduction of those factors that cause climate change, biodiversity loss, pollution. But if you heard, it wasn't only those that are pursuing academic careers in environment and natural resource management, but we looked at areas of biology, the social studies, because all that has to do with conservation. If you notice, when we do an environmental impact assessment, it has a science component, but it also has the other science component, which is not only environmental and economic, but also the social part. You have to do those consultations, talk to the people, see how things affect them either positively or negatively. So that is trying to bring everything together to have a component that as a country we will be able to be better fitted to do our work and for them to also pursue their careers.
And there's more news after the break. Stay tuned.
Pro FC is here on Saturday, November 30th. Pro FC arrives at the Garden City Belmopan. Pro FC 14 Mundo versus Topsy inside the UB Gymnasium in the city of Belmopan. The main event is the lightweight championship fight between the defending champion Marvin Manley Mundo versus the dangerous Amel Topsy. We also have 9 other exciting MMA fights, including 2 more championship fights and a feature professional international MMA fight featuring the undefeated Frank Mac Vasquez. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. and the event starts at 7:30 p.m. sharp. General admission tickets are only $30 and VIP tickets are $80 available at the event ticket booth. Pro FC, Belize Premier MMA League. Pro FC 14 live exclusively on Centaur.
Pro FC 14 is brought to you by Smart, bringing people together, the Belmopan City Council, and Express Plus app, streaming entertainment.
The Judicial Education Institute, JEI, of the Senior Courts of Belize and the Criminal Justice Board have launched a new public education outreach initiative aimed at enhancing legal awareness among youth. Chief Justice Honorable Louise Esther Bledman announced the program which kicks off on November 7, 2024 at Gwen Lizarraga High School, targeting from 2 students. The session, titled Law and Youth, was facilitated by Honorable Mr. Justice Nigel Pilgrim and Community Rehabilitation Officer Mrs. Elaine Lambie. This initiative seeks to educate young people about the legal system, their rights and responsibilities. The outreach is part of a broader strategy by the Criminal Justice Board to transform Belize's justice system and is aligned with the CCJ Academy for Law Needham's Point Declaration. The JEI is dedicated to strengthening public understanding of the justice system, building trust, and promoting civic engagement through ongoing monthly educational programs across Belize. Dr. Honorable Osmond Martinez completed a successful trade and investment mission to London from November 4th to the 7th, aiming at enhancing Belize's economic positioning through commercial diplomacy. Supported by the Belize High Commission and senior trade economist Burris Ford Codd, Dr. Martinez engaged in high-level discussions with the Commonwealth Secretariat. A significant highlight of the mission was Dr. Martinez's keynote address at the Commonwealth meeting on sustainable and regenerative tourism, where he shared Belize's sustainability efforts and their impact on national development. Additionally, participation in the UK Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum initiated Belize's collaboration with UK Export Finance to attract investments for large-scale projects. This mission underscores the Belizean government's commitment to fostering international partnerships that align with the planned Belize medium-term development strategy and bolster the nation's economic growth. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Monday, November 11th here on CTV3 News and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3belizenews or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. From all of us here at CTV3 News, have a safe and pleasant weekend. Thank you for watching and listening. Good night.